Does it make more sense than a 16-year-old with 13 years of training fights or a 20-year-old with 3 months of training? Just because you're older doesn't make you better. It makes you older. Coach Greg, and today's video is on none other than 16-year-old female Victoria Lee. That's right, she's a 16-year-old fighter in the MMA. She comes from a family of fighters and at the age of 16 just won her MMA fighting debut. And despite the fact that she won the competition, the biggest talk is she too young? Should she even be allowed to fight? Is this because she's female and not male? Is it because of her age? What is this? Why can't she fight? If she's allowed to fight, why can't she fight? Before we get into that, we should know a little bit about her background. Can Victoria Lee become MMA's youngest world champion?
All the hype is coming from the fact that I'm training in the best gym in the world.
So she comes from a family of fighters, her brother, sister, parents, everyone's involved. She's been attending these fights since the age of 10, training a lot longer than that. And so at the age of 16, she's about to become the youngest official fighter in the world ever. 16 years old, ready to punch, choke, kick, you name it. Submit herself to the dangers of MMA. But should she be allowed?
My goal is to become a world champion one day, whenever that may be.
Her goal? To be the world champion, of course. Why not dream big? She has amazing genetics, the right upbringing, the proper training, diet, everything. So why can't she be the best in the world? But is she too young to compete? Well, what about other sports? Hockey, football, basketball, gymnastics, snowboarding. Are these sports safe? Are people not getting concussions? You trying to tell me that these other sports are safe and that MMA is not? Why? Because the goal of MMA is to knock out your opponent? Last I checked, you can get knocked out in a football game. You ever seen kids play hockey, checking their opponents into the boards? They're breaking legs, breaking arms. You ever seen a gymnastics accident? Heck, you can get hurt playing on the monkey bars or sliding down the hill on a sled. Don't get me started on skateboarding, snowboarding, bike racing, or just going for a bike ride. Broke my elbow, hit by a car on a bike. There are dangers, inherent dangers in life. She is fully aware of this. Her family is fully aware of this. And she wants to compete and has a passion for it. This makes her life worth living. This is what she wants. It's the most important thing in her life. But no, we shouldn't let her do that because what if she gets hurt? What if she gets a concussion? Replace she with he or circle. Would you change your mind then? Because if it's okay for a male to do it, it should be okay for a female to do it. Look back 100 years ago. They wouldn't even let females do marathons. Oh, it's too hard. Females are delicate. We can't let them run a marathon. That's too strenuous. Maybe 10 kilometers at most. Marathon, half marathon. Are you kidding me? Nowadays, we have gender equality in sport. Bill C-131, I believe it was, when I was in university, about 5 billion years ago, we learned about gender equality in sport. Before, in the old days, males, they were given special treatment. More money was funded to help male sports. But since that time, it became a law. Women, men, they need to have equal participation rights in sport. But MMA, it's dangerous. You can get hurt. So should we ban all sports where you can get hurt? Because if you say you can't do MMA, well, there's a thing called boxing. There's a thing called karate, taekwondo, wrestling. There's lots of combat sports in high schools. So if you ban this particular sport, don't you need to ban them all? And if we ban combat sports, what about hockey? Last I checked, it's pretty dangerous to get checked into the boards by someone traveling 25 miles an hour on skates. That's pretty dangerous. What about a slap shot hockey? 90 miles an hour. That hits you. Gonna hurt. And what about football? When that 300-pound plus person tackles you and slams your head to the floor, Is that not going to cause concussions? Yeah, it can. Yes, it's been proven concussions can cause CTE later in life. It can damage your brain. It can affect you. So before you get involved in these sports, you need to be presented with what can happen, and those who are doing the sports need to do their best to make it safe. They need to do their best to make it safe. You can't just throw in a child and say, go fight, without telling them, well, this could happen. And when you're young, do you care? No. How many kids care? Oh, I'm going to go down this mountain on my BMX. I don't have a helmet. I don't care. I don't need to wear a seatbelt. Why would I do that? We need to properly educate and make sure that young people make educated, informed decisions. And when they're too young to make them for themselves, we need to make them for them. For example, we don't let kids do drugs or alcohol because it's not good for them. We have a certain age before we let them do it, before they're old enough to make a proper, educated, informed decision. It might be 18 or 19 in Canada. It might be 21 in the United States. It might be banned in another country. Who knows? Different countries have different rules. So is that no different than MMA? How can we say it's not okay to have alcohol at the age of 16, but it's okay to get your head beaten in by a fist? I don't know. I don't know the answer. How would I know? I have an opinion. I personally think it should be allowed. If you're told it's okay, your parents sign off on it and say, you can do this, I think it's okay. Parents can sign off and allow a child to get a tattoo. Can't get a tattoo, you're 16, you can't get a tattoo without your parents' permission. Sometimes we have to let kids live. We can't be a bubble boy, girl, or circle. Can't live life in a bubble. Sometimes we're going to do things that are dangerous. Lots of things in our lives are dangerous, and if we take out all the danger, we take out all the fun. I'd rather live a life with some danger and have fun than live a life playing Nintendo games all day long. That's all you can do because you can't get hurt. Just do this all day. Some other people, they want to be physical. They want to be active. You realize how healthy this female is? Very healthy. Imagine the training she's doing. Weights, cardio, eating the proper diet, being a physical specimen. And yeah, she could get hurt. She could get a broken arm. She could break a tooth. She could get injured, get cut. But she likes it. She wants to do it. And if she couldn't do this, what would she do? Maybe she'd skateboard. Maybe she'd snowboard. I don't know what she'd do. She could get hurt doing those things as well. She may, in fact, get hurt worse. She might ride a bicycle and get hit by a car. Anything can happen, but you can't live your life saying, anything can happen, so I choose to do nothing. I'm going to sit in a bubble in my room and not explore, not do anything, not have any pleasure.
There's a ton of pressure on me right now, but my family's helped me to deal with it.
So she says, I'm nervous, but I can't wait to get in the ring. There's a ton of pressure on me right now. See, this is the thing. There's too much pressure, and I do believe it's self-imposed pressure. She's 16 years old, about to do her first fight ever, and says there's a lot of pressure. It's your first fight. How is there pressure? Oh, you might be the world champion one day, so there's pressure because right now at age 16, you have to dominate. If you lose, well, what then? It's her first fight. She can lose the first fight and get better and win the next one. You don't have to just fight and win all the time. You're allowed to play in sports and lose. Losing not only builds character, but you learn arguably more from a loss than you do from a win. You win and you think, oh, this is easy. You lose and you think, wow, I need to work on these 3 things and get better at them so that I can come back and then win. If you win, you won. Great. What do you need to work on? So losing has its benefits, not only in improvement, but in your life as well, builds character. You see the picture of her as a child. She's working on this as a kid, probably 3-4 years old. She's trained her whole life for this. So who are we to say at 16, you're too young? Trained her whole life. She may have been training since the age of 13 years for this. Yet someone else could say, oh, I'm 20, I'm going to practice for 3 months and I'll fight. Does it make more sense than a 16-year-old with 13 years of training fights or a 20-year-old with 3 months of training? Just because you're older doesn't make you better. It makes you older. So I think it would be very arbitrary to say at this age, that's when you're allowed to compete. And before that age, you're not. Because everyone's different. Some 16-year-olds for sure shouldn't be fighting. This one, I think she should. She comes from a family, they've trained her for years. She wants to do it. She's excited, so let her fight.
Most proud of us being a very close and loving family. That is the main ingredient for our success.
She comes from a loving family and they're motivated to help each other. Does that not sound like the proper environment to breed success? Think of other families. Parents hate their kids, they neglect them, don't let them participate in sport. They're left to do this all day on their own, from morning until night. The parents are invested in helping their child. Brothers, sisters, parents, everyone's working together. How is this not a proper role model example for other families?
All 4 of my children have been competing in various forms of martial arts since they're very young. So they understand the effort, the work ethic that's involved.
She has the work ethic. She understands the pros and cons, everything that leads to a successful competitive experience. So I'm watching the fight. Victoria Lee versus Sinasa Shrizen, 1 championship.
Of Victoria Lee. This teenager could make Coffee nervous.
Imagine she could make her nervous. She's a phenom, 16 years old. Obviously, she's making her nervous.
A must-win for Victoria, who has been touted as a potential world champion of the future.
And you wonder where this pressure comes from. The announcer literally says a must-win for Victoria. A must-win. It's already a must-win. It's the first fight she's ever had, and it's a must-win. If she loses, oh my goodness. She loses, she could never be world champion. This is the least must-win fight that I could ever imagine. You don't have to must-win a fight when it's your first one, especially at the age of 16. Ridiculous comment from the announcer. Just because she's touted as a future world champion doesn't mean she needs to be the best in the world tonight.
Could be written off in her one debut if she fails.
If she loses, and she learns from it and gets better next time. Age 16. It's ridiculous to think that if she loses, she's somehow a failure. Ridiculous. And round 2, she mounts her, gives her a rear naked choke, causing her to submit. So she wins the fight. Thank goodness, because had she lost, oh my goodness, it was a must win. No, but she did win. And then watch her in the interview. You could just tell her age. She's only 16 years of age. Listen to her response to this question. And this video already has over 1 million views in 3 days. It's called 16-year-old phenom Victoria Lee did this on her MMA debut.
0 time in getting her out of there.
Sorry, I forgot the question.
And so she's so excited. She just won her first fight. Imagine what's going through her mind. And they're interviewing her and they asked her the question and she's like, what's the question? So you just have to love this girl. She just won her first fight. She's in an interview and you can see she's only 16. They're asking her questions. I can't answer. I didn't even hear what she said. I just can't believe I just won this fight. It's amazing. So I love the thought that this girl's fighting. I think it's great. I think she's a great role model. And despite the fact that people think that it's too dangerous and that it's too young, it's debatable, but I think she's old enough. So let me see in the comment section, do you agree or disagree with allowing her to compete? Do you think it would be different if she was a guy versus being a female? And should she be allowed to fight? And does the fact that she won change anything? Had she have lost, would you have a different opinion? If she would have been the loser in this fight, would you say, she's too young? And if you think she's too young, what age is old enough? Is it 17, 18, 19? What is the age? And if you say 16 should be allowed, should 15, 14, 12? Where is the line and who can decide this? Let me know in the comment section. I am excited to read these comments because I genuinely want to know, what do you think? Everyone is saying she's too young. Her sister is ONE FC's atomweight champ and her brother is ranked number 3 in their featherweight division. Her family are straight up killers. She knows what she's doing. She's still reliving the fight in her head. Give her a few minutes, LOL. It's more like she's zoned out and not about forgetting the question. I forgot the question is a much nicer way of saying I wasn't even listening. That I like. She's thinking, why would I care about this question? I'm just like, I just won. I don't care. Respect for what she's achieving at such a young age. 16 does seem a little young though, especially given the fact that your brain still has a lot of developing to do. But hey, if you're talented enough, then you're old enough. And she's clearly super talented. Everyone talking about how young she is. You only have one life. I wish her the best and I hope she tries even more stuff and don't listen to the negativity online. A 16-year-old should be going to school, not wasting their time playing foolish games, but laying foundation for their future. Well, I'm pretty sure this is a foundation for her future. A future potential world champion. It's not like you can't make a living doing this. I mean, how is this not what you would do in school? You go to school, you take part in physical education, you play sports that can help you in the future. Same as math, you can use math skills as you get older. How does this not help her in her future? And so, I mean, it's a great point. I'm not saying you're wrong or right if you agree or disagree with me. You could get CTE. It's definitely a possibility. However, there's many sports that this can happen in. Should we eliminate the tackling? Make it flag football. Ban checking in hockey. Of course, ban the fighting. Why would we let them fight in hockey? Does that make sense? Hockey is not about fighting. So for me, do I like a hockey fight? Yes, I enjoy watching the fight. I liked watching MMA. But to me, that's not hockey. After all, when I played basketball, somebody can't foul you and you punch them in the face, knock them out. It doesn't work like that. But in hockey, seems you can. But should you? I don't think you should. But why do they allow it? Because money, the fans want to see it. People love watching a fight. So who are we to ban that? Some of the hockey players, they want to fight. They're good at fighting. That's why they're in the NHL. They're fighters. So if we ban fighting, some people losing their jobs. But guess what? Those jobs are going to be replaced by other hockey players who have more skill and can't fight because fighting is abolished. So I can obviously see both sides of the story. Does the NHL want to ban fighting when they know it brings them money? Does football want to take out tackling? Imagine NFL, no more tackling, flag football for the safety of the athletes. Would be great for the safety of the athletes, but probably not going to be as popular a sport now, is it? NASCAR. Crashes, we don't want the crashes, but guess what? Everyone's going to look or not look at the car accident, but we want to make it as safe as possible. You can't go in a race car without a helmet, fire suit, everything, the most safe possible experience for the athlete. So when they make the rules for MMA, they're trying to make it as safe as possible for the athlete without taking the competitive experience away. They're not letting them kick them in their head when they're down. You can't run up to someone's head on the ground and kick it like a soccer ball. They do have rules to try to make it safer. Is it 100% safe? No, but no sport is 100% safe. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you'll get involved in the discussion in the comment section. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IB Pro. Be sure to watch one of those Bloops videos. Subscribe, click the bell button. Don't forget to buy the freaking cookbook to help you lose weight. Delicious foods help you lose weight for the rest of your life. And until next time, I am out.